So I want to ask the elephant in the room wala question.
I personally never had any kind of, I felt any kind of discrimination.
No, take credit yourself, guys.
Forum being organized, talking about such things.
All the forums are theirs. Welcome to Startup Tables with AJ. AJ being me, Archana Jahagirdar. I'm the founder of Rukam Capital, and we are in the Rukam Capital office right here with some very lovely ladies who are great founders, and they're looking to build very large, successful companies. So welcome everyone to the Startup Tables. I would request each one of you to introduce yourself and also talk about what your startup is all about. So should we start with you? Please start.
Thank you, Archana. I am Aditi Balbir, the co-founder of Eco Ratings. We are building a Gen AI solution for sustainability. What that basically means is that it is a large language model built from scratch. So we do have our own foundation model, but it is specifically for sustainability needs. So just like you use a ChatGPT, you could put in a question in English and you would get an answer, but related to any use case in the sustainability domain. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shotabisha and I'm co-founder of the Formula RX. So the Formula RX is an Indian dermocosmetic brand which is known for its innovation, quality and efficacy. So I'm a formulation scientist and I have co-founded this brand with my husband, who is a neuroscientist and a pharmacologist. So what we are trying to do with Formula RX, it's to listen to the consumers and put science and innovation at the service of beauty to essentially come up with solution that is going to target their skin concerns and skin needs. So we are not that kind of a brand who does overzealous kind of claims around the product or try to sell you some unrealistic dreams or expectations. So as a consumer first brand, we are the first Indian skincare brand to actually brought the concept of skin barrier fortifying products in the Indian consumer market. And if you see now today's beauty ecosystem, this has been like the breakthrough, like the trendiest thing right now in the market. So we take a little bit pride on that sense. And as I say, like as a brand, we are a consumer first brand, we are innovators and not mere marketers, and this has really worked for us. So from what we have started with our background, zero connection in the industry, so to what we have achieved so far, it's all majority word of mouth, people love and support for the brand. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Archana and everyone on the table today. I'm Mahua Hazra and I'm the founder of Bioveda AgroVentures. Bioveda is an agri-tech company and it is one of the first social Q-commerce rural startups in India. We are a D2C brand catering to the farmers of India. We have almost 40,000 farmers as our base on the platform, and out of which almost 7,000 farmers are paid subscribers. We sell inputs to them, and most importantly, we deliver within 4 hours. And we collect their produce within 1 hour of their coming to the collection center. This is enhancing their income and also creating a lot of rural employment in India. So our aim is to make Bioveda one of the biggest rural Q-commerce companies in India. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Aparna. I'm the founder of Alternate. Alternate is hoping to build a company that brings global beauty and personal care standards to India. For the longest time, to win customers, brands have priced themselves lower and thus compromised on quality. Our goal is to get those global standards to India at a price that consumers can repeatedly afford without compromising on quality, and then extending it for problems and insecurities that are nascent to Indians and Indian women. So our first audience is working women of India, so all of you. And we want all of our products are built with insights on insecurities that we face day to day, but not making any false promises, really solving those problems instantaneously.
Hi everyone, this is Ishrita Gupta. I'm the co-founder of Eat Atlas. We are a new age snacking brand getting international flavors to the Indian snack market. The major problem that we faced in the Indian snacking market is the snacks are really boring. I guess you guys all can relate with this. They're old, boring snacks, generationally worn out flavors with same air filled full of potatoes or even popped now. What we're trying to do is that since the single cuisine restaurants are becoming famous these days, be it Yum Yum Cha or mainland China, we're trying to get the same international flavors in a form of packaged snacks. We're starting with chips and dips, but we of course want to go for just dips and just chips in future as well.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rekha Lokna and I am founder of Nuki. Nuki is an intimacy wellness brand where we help people enhance their love making experience through our unique products. So our flagship product is right now, it's an aphrodisiac chocolate. It's unique, one of its kind and very new to the market. And also we are making people aware on the different topics like relationship, intimacy, sexual health through our content and one of our podcasts.
So welcome everyone. It's a very diverse set of founders building different companies. I mean, it's interesting to see how women are thinking about problems and solving them. So I want to ask the elephant in the room wala question. Do you think as women founders, are we all discriminated against? Is it harder to be a woman founder?
So of course, it's harder to be a woman founder. There's no two ways about it. But I think I'll put forward a very interesting view that I think everybody will resonate with. I think because we've already broken through the glass and kind of sitting here today, I think it's up to us to kind of create these opportunities for the next generation of women. However, today, if you ask me, are we discriminated against? Yes, but it's up to us to find the right mentors. So from the crowd, finding the right people who uplift you is really what I would give as a suggestion, instead of focusing on are we discriminated against or, are we starting from the back foot?
Right.
I have a very different view. So I am a second
We
time.
love different views. It'd be very boring if you all thought exactly the same way.
So I am a second time founder. I've been a founder since 2010, when there were very few of us that were venture funded, right? So looking at those days, we actually had a little bit of an edge because we were those celebrated 10 founders that people knew of, and it was all the men that supported us, because at that time there were very few women in venture capital, but it was really the men who supported us, who gave us that mentorship, and I was pretty much coached on how to be an entrepreneur, honestly.
So do you want to talk about who coached you?
Sure, I was funded by Seed Fund. And so there was Bharti obviously on that team. So Bharti, Jacob, Praveen Gandhi, Mahesh Murthy, Shailesh Vikram Singh, all of them, they were quite fantastic in helping out. And because Bharti was in Bangalore, for me, I was a Delhi-based portfolio. So I had only the men who were supporting me and who were, helping me raise further capital, do follow-on series, getting the team together. So I did not feel that at all. In fact, I felt that it might have been slightly easier because everybody wanted to talk to us. And now it's wonderful to see that there are so many more women entrepreneurs. And I think that glass ceiling that we're talking about has also broken from the point of view of women in venture capital. And that has really become fantastic, because when I speak to a woman investor, they have a completely different perspective, and it's fantastic to see. So maybe we have a bit of an edge.
Okay, great.
While I agree, I agree that there must be something, of course, if you were saying so, but from my perspective, I think this has not been the case. From my childhood, I've always tried to go to my father's office and work with him, and there's not a single day that he's taken me there thinking that this is not the place for women. I'm not saying that he has been against that, but it's such an unorganized sector that he always believes that the women should be in a place where it's safe for them to go.
So which sector is he in?
He's a businessman. He's working in a factory. So when I said it's unorganized, again there's labor working there, and he feels that it's not safe for his daughter to go. So I've always been that I have that entrepreneurial spirit. I'll go with my dad someday, but it's never the case. So I think that social foundation, how much we say, has not yet been the topmost. There's still that norm that women and the expectations, of course, that they should be doing either a household or they're at a corporate where it's at least safe for them to go.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, so. No, it's okay.
Mama, you're being very patient.
I personally never had any kind of, I have felt any kind of discrimination. And what I have always, personally thought that your intellectuality and your skill sets has nothing to do with your gender. It's like we have a different path. So always I see people comparing okay, men are doing this, women are supposed to do that. We are meant to be different. We meant to have different paths. Like for example, one thing which I have always felt as a woman, that our biological clock never syncs with our career clock. This is something that we are not very open in corporate places to talk about, but this is a thing, and this is how it should be. So yeah, so what I feel is that we just have to accept the fact as a society also that our paths are different, the way our journeys are different. What men are doing, we are not supposed to do the same thing. So that's my personal take.
Here's a perspective, and I have had a corporate career of about 20 plus years.
Where were you working?
So I was in the insurance industry, worked with companies like Max Life, Aviva Life, Pramerica Life Insurance, and I've handled national level roles. I've never felt discriminated there. That is something which goes without saying. And now I work in a space which is rural India, and especially in a state like Uttar Pradesh. I'm very, very intrigued to tell you that men have always been in awe of what we are capable of, whether it be in urban India or in rural India. There have been times that I've not got toilets, for almost a day. There have been times where I've visited mandis where there were 2,000 men staring at me, but never did I feel that I'm a woman. For me, I was representing Bioveda. For me, I was representing a company which is here to provide solutions to the farmers. And I think that is where it all starts. It starts from within. It is, if you discriminate or think yourself being a woman first, you would always think being discriminated. So I've never felt that way. And probably that's why I never got that response from anyone.
Yes, I agree with her, but I think for that you need so much of passion, so much of आपके अंदर होना चाहिए, वो पैशन होना चाहिए. बट एज इन इंडिया आई थिंक वो बहुत पहले का टाइम था व्हेन वुमेन वर डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड इफ़ दे आर एंटरप्रेन्योर या फिर वो बिजनेस में आना चाहते हैं. नाउ टाइम हैज़ बीन चेंज. एज पर माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आई हैड अ सपोर्ट ऑफ माई फादर, देन आई हैड अ सपोर्ट ऑफ माई हस्बैंड. दे ऑलवेज वॉन्टेड मी टू ग्रो. तो अगर मैं कुछ करना चाहती हूँ दे विल बी सपोर्टिंग मी. बट येस स्टिल बिकॉज इट्स इंडिया, अगर आप रूरल इंडिया में जाओ या आप छोटे शहरों में जाओ, एज अ वुमेन यू आर डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड. आपके पास आइडियाज़ हैं, आप बिजनेस करना चाहते हो, आपके पास पैशन है, बट यू विल नॉट गेट दैट मच सपोर्ट. बट बीइंग इन मेट्रो सिटीज़, like we get support from family, we get support from so many mentors, we have so many companies or who are supporting us, who are teaching us what you can learn to be a founder. But still a bigger part of India there is too much discrimination and no support.
So my view on this is that there is discrimination. I think some of us are luckier than some others. So it's also, what is personal experience and lived experience versus, what is the really the reality on the ground. So, and if there's other aspects that are thrown in like poverty, acute poverty, I think then your life can be very, very difficult as a woman. But I'd like to move on to, what has made all of you want to be entrepreneurs? क्या कीड़ा था वो, क्या वो जुनून था कि फाउंडर बनना है, कंपनी शुरू करनी है?
अब मेरा तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं था।
क्यों? क्यों नहीं था?
नहीं था।
अच्छा, फिर बने कैसे आप?
So I used to work in a venture fund.
Which one?
Sort of like Bedrock Ventures based in Noida. In fact, after ISB, I went straight to work for a venture fund, and we invested into this company where the founders left after a year. Now, those were the good old days of investment where, people came with a concept and you liked the concept and you gave them, your first $1 million check. Really good days. So those guys left, and the venture fund manager was quite adamant that the company should not go down. So he said, tum travel karti rehti ho, so you might as well step in and become a founder. And I said, I have no idea how to be a founder or how to be a CEO. He's like, pehle to apne paise dalne padenge. I'm like, what are you saying? So I am a salaried person. I don't even know these concepts. He's like, nahi, pehle hum paise dalenge. Aur phir he's like, we'll teach you. But you need to step in. So I stepped into the shoes of, entrepreneurship this way. I was kind of forced into it. But once I was in it, I don't think I'd ever looked back. So I was just, in fact, sharing with the group that after my first exit, I felt that, maybe I should be a VC again, because typically after entrepreneurs get the exit, they like to go the VC way. So I decided that, I'd start investing. And I did do a couple of investments, but every time I spoke to a founder, I was so jealous of what they were building. I was actually jealous because I said, oh my God.
Good choice of word.
Yeah, I could see that, they're going to do something great and they're going to build something great and they're going to be the next unicorn. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me, acha, this is not working, ya ye problem hai. All I could think of was that they're doing great work. So I decided, okay, this is not for me. I need to build something. So this is my second venture, and I'm very, very happy being an entrepreneur now.
Fantastic story.
So for me, I think that it was more organic. I was a young scientist with an entrepreneurial mindset who happened to be, very much attracted to beauty, cosmetic, this industry. So it happened like my husband, so I used to take him, to the beauty stores, like for the shopping, and also once he just asked me randomly, like, hey, why I can't see, so we used to live in Germany, so hey, why I can't see many products from Indian brands in this beauty shelves. So there will be like from Korea, from Paris, from US, UK, but not Indian. So that made me think, like, what's the reason? Like, it's like the beauty company at that time, I'm talking about 2019, 2018. So it was doing pretty well in India. So why it's not that? So that made me think, and he asked me like, hey, you have the skill sets, know-how, and if you think that if Indian companies, they are not being able to make it global, so can you put that experience and expertise to build something which you can call Indian, and you can, have your products in these shelves. And it's like kind of dream he showed me, and I was just flowed with this, and yeah, I left everything. It was very random. I never thought about once, like what I'm doing, like I'm leaving my job, my life and everything, and coming back to India. But I think we are all driven by, some bigger dream, some bigger things that we are building.
For me, it has been completely different. I was at the peak of my career when I left everything, a good job, nice perks, great salary. And something which always occurred to me was, how can I create an impact which is much larger than even I can think of? Of course, when you're working in a salaried position or in the corporate sector, you have that arena which is very limited. And I was looking for a space where I can create that impact, because what really makes me feel good when I see people happy with my actions. It's been that way through. Also, importantly, at at my own level, at a personal level, I wanted freedom of my own time. So that is something which drove me to do something which 20 years of corporate service didn't.
So mine's a long story. I'll try to shorten it for everybody.
Yes.
But when I was getting my master's, I developed my own company. So I was 21, really, really hopeful. And it was from my personal health issues that I wanted to create a company for personalized post-surgical care for breast cancer survivors. Got funding. This was in New York, but my visa didn't allow me to pursue an entrepreneurial route. Angrily stomped across US, went west, got on foot and got a job at Circle Up, which was the largest consumer VC at the time. Got to witness some incredible stories unfold, but had to transition back to India. And I've been lucky. I was at Good Capital. I was a partner there for the last 5 years. I watched a lot of amazing, incredible founders create something big right in front of me. And I think about last year is when I realized, once I gained some financial independence, that it's time for me to create something for women in India as well now. And that's how I landed up here building Alternate.
So not such a long story.
There's a lot of pitfalls in the middle, which
Yeah. I'll come to the pitfalls next, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I did speak about what led me to here when my father was not allowing me, and as a crazy kid, of course, if somebody stops you something, you surely want to do something on those lines. So I joined Deloitte, worked there for 2 years, started facing this problem that there's no snack which is actually interesting, where the entire snacking experience is in the snack itself. So what there the idea actually pumped up and started building on these lines. Then I actually thought that I should take help from people, but rather than talking to a lot of people, I started my own thing and then got mentored by a lot of people. Now with the chips and dips thing, we're trying to get the tissue inside that box, everything in the simple box so that the snacking becomes an experience for everybody. So from that zid wala thing, it actually became the passion for building something of my own. So it has been entirely jumped from being crazy to being passionate about something.
But I think to be founders, we all have to be crazy, right? Otherwise, you can't do it. But your journey.
I was an entrepreneur by chance. So
that's why आप दोनों एक दूसरे के आसपास बैठे हैं. दोनों luck by chance है.
I'm an entrepreneur from last 8 years. This is my third startup. Wow. And so basically, I was an assistant professor in a college. Then I got married in 2016. And that time, I took a gap from my job. And that was a government job. Then my husband, he was very passionate about starting something of his own. He was internationally certified trainer. And he wanted to start something in training and exercise and everything. So I told him that, yes, I would help you. वहाँ से मैंने start किया help करना. He used to train people. I used to give them diet plans because I was a dietitian also, and I had a background of food science and technology. I have done M.Tech. तो वहाँ से शुरू हुआ. Then I don't know, उसके बाद मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं कि मुझे ये करना है. वो शायद एक कीड़ा अंदर होता है, तो कभी-कभी किसी भी चीज से वो निकल आता है. और
it is that one trigger that you need.
Just something to be the catalyst for it, basically.
Right. It goes and goes. उसके बाद हमने वो build किया, बहुत बड़ी टीम बनाई. मतलब फिर because you are asking, तो अब मैं वहाँ back story में चली गई. Otherwise now
बहुत आगे पहुँच गए हैं. बहुत आगे आ गए. Actually, I think what you also said ना कि एक बार you become a founder, you can't go back.
You can't go.
Then you can't go back. नौकरी नहीं होगी फिर.
नहीं.
हाँ, अब नहीं हो सकती. Like बाकी कुछ भी कर लेंगे, but नौकरी नहीं हो सकती है. You know. So how important are mentors? You know, when you start up. I mean, some of you third time founder, second time founder, तो अभी भी लगता है mentors की ज़रूरत है?
Yeah, always.
I especially, I never got a mentor, like because the background from where I come from, so I never had any experience working in India. like nothing to do, it's like all research, all science, nothing to do with the marketing, never had any, you know, connection in the industry. So whenever
Satyavisha, you think connections zaruri hai? And
Of
this
course.
is to everybody. Is
Of
startup
course.
ecosystem mein
Of
connections ki
course.
zarurat hai?
Of course, because see, like you do not know, it's everything you are doing, and it's everything uncertain. So when you sit with someone who has already built that, or you sit with some, you know, founders, your co-entrepreneurs, you get to learn so many things. Because see, entrepreneur, it's like you have to figure it out everything on your own. And once you build the company, a running company, you are not responsible for yourself anymore, but you are responsible for each and every one.
Exactly.
Who is
your employees,
working,
your customers, your vendors.
who is working in your company.
Yeah.
So they have certain expectations, and you cannot tell them like, okay, see, I do not have the experience, so I cannot solve the problem. I have to, you know, use my brain, or you need to do some research to solve it on my own. But once, if you have mentor, it's easier, or if you have some prior experience, it's much easier. You can talk to that person. So I never had that, you know, this luxury of talking to any such person.
So Satyavisha, I want to say this. I won't be arrogant enough to say that I'll mentor you, but I'll be your friend.
Thank
so
you
if you
so
want
much.
to call me,
Thank
I'm
you
happy
so
to
much.
take.
That's really nice
No,
of
but
you.
seriously, I think, you know, it's important to. I think the word mentor, at least from my perspective, is a big word. I think friend may be a better word, no?
It is a, yeah,
Those,
I agree.
We all need friends.
Because mentor has a lot of responsibility attached to it, and then, you know, you feel as if the person has to always be available, and it's a big.
हाँ,
yeah,
मेरे को लगता है mentor is also, you know, it means कि the person knows everything. Actually, nobody knows everything.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. That's true.
But you can give a helping hand. You can hear people out, which is actually more friend, right? Not mentor.
Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey.
Very lonely.
Very lonely journey,
Yeah.
and you are supposed to know it all, which you don't actually know. You don't know half of the things you're doing, and you don't know whether you'll be successful. So I think more than mentorship, you need a sounding board. You need to go and punch yourself on that person and say that this is not working out. And he might not give you a solution, but it's just that he's there to hear you out. And then you talk together and find a solution. So mentors are important in every stage of the journey, whether it's early stage or even at a later stage. But yes, they have a very, very important role.
Aparna, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I think completely agree with you. Sounding board is exactly how I would think of it, but more than just a mentor or a friend, I think a full support system is really important, including your family, including all the avenues that we women have to go through. If we have children, if we have husbands and families, and our parents are getting older. So as entrepreneurs, of course, we have extremely busy lives, and it's great to have a friend and a sounding board professionally, but even personally, I think it's important to keep our emotions in check, because we as women go through so much.
Right.
I've been lucky enough to be mentored by, not mentored, again, be friends with a lot of people. But I think those people, again, be it Prachi Pawar from Peak XP, then there's Arjun Vaidya from, who's the D2C king. So meeting such people on a regular basis, now they've become my first sample set. Now every new flavor I introduce, I first tend to give them the sample and ask, how is it tasting? Is it good for the market then? So just not telling the insights of the market, I guess they've become friends on those lines, telling me if that flavor will work or not.
They've become your dipstick friends.
Yeah.
It's your decision. Everything has to be owned by you. And but if you have mentor or mentors, so you will take this much time to reach here. But with mentor, you can reach here in this much time.
But how do you find the mentors then?
No, so I would like to talk a little bit about the ecosystem that I have seen really change, right? So when I had my first venture, it was about individuals who were helping out, right? Now, if you're on the right groups, there's almost one startup program that is happening every day. There is either a company that is starting a program, or it's one of these institutions, be it IITs. All the IITs have some programs. And there are programs specifically for women as well. So I think the ecosystem has evolved so much, and as a startup, this is in fact the first time that I have taken advantage of almost everyone. I've applied to all of them and I have taken advantage of everyone, and they have opened the markets for me. They have opened those people out for me. So my mentors are now replaced by institutions, and that is just fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think institutionalized support is quite critical, because individual support can only take you again to some extent, and you need a broader framework. Do you think there should be more schemes or more capital available as grants through government schemes for women founders? Or do you think what is there is adequate, and it's better to be part of the the capital, sort of private capital that is available for women founders? Which of the two do you think is more important? Satyavisha, you're dying to say something. Go for it.
As we are running a bootstrap company, so personally I do not have much experience with the fundraising and everything. But what I feel is that, like as you were saying, like the woman driven and things like this. So you see, like ours is like in our consumer segment, women's, they are like the predator consumers, if there is such a word or something. So yeah, so when we are building something, so as a woman, what I feel is that we connect with our consumer most. So if there is something like we are building for the women, or like if it is sector specific, we have something that's specifically to support this kind of organization or this kind of companies, I think it will be great.
I have a different perspective to that. I think if we consider ourselves equals, why should we look for extra women support from government schemes? It should be definitely on merit. And if you are meritorious and if you're doing something which is unique, you would definitely catch eyeballs, irrespective of you being a man or a woman.
Again, I have a different viewpoint on this. If we would have been equal, I think we would have seen more women entrepreneurs on the top unicorns, which I don't. I just see a few role models, be it Vinita or Mama Earth, to say a few of these brands. So there is something which is stopping women, and of course it is a big problem, which again we try to avoid. How much we say that we are, I'm again glad that all of us are doing good, but there is a point where we are not being able to reach to the top because of something which is pulling us down. Be it the schemes or being that social bias or anything else.
We are all a product of our circumstances, and our views come from our experiences. So probably I've had luckier experiences.
No, that's what I said, right? I think, see, it's a question of how your life has turned out. Now that is a function of, you can't choose your parents. So if you've had very progressive parents who can support you, that's one thing. Then also where you're born, in which sort of family or larger sort of social. I think every woman has her own sort of struggle, which, I mean, this is my personal view, guys. Again, different view. It's different from men for sure. I think men don't have to. So the last couple of episodes that we've shot, we've of course had male founders. Not one of them talked about either their spouse or their girlfriend. Not one. On this table, everybody's talked about their spouse being an enabler or their father being an enabler. We've never seen this with any male founder. In fact, when I talk to male founders, their personal life is just not a conversation. Like there's not even once they'll mention their spouse, or they'll. Now where husband and wife are co-founders, that's different. But if it's two friends or two whatever batchmates who come together and build, you never hear them talk about.
That's, I think, how we are as women. Like we, love wholesome thing. So men they are like more focused. So one.
No, you can be wholesome. I'm talking about how each one of you have talked about that your spouse has been an enabler. I'm saying they don't talk about their spouses being enablers. That's the point.
In fact, I have. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think you are absolutely right. But this is how we as women look at the things. Like we want to.
This is inbuilt. This is inbuilt.
No, take credit yourself, guys.
Credit, not giving the credit, but it's about, like for women, it's always been about, like once you're married, like your husband is a very big part of your life, right? Your family. So we want it all. But for men, it's more, they're more focused. They are like...
No, but that's a discrimination. Come on. I mean, we can't justify that part, Satobisha. See, it's fine to be different of course, gender plays a role. But let's also be aware of where the cracks are. You know, and some of us have been luckier than others. Where, like I said, you know, either our spouses or parents, somebody has enabled us, right? But that it's true for a larger set. But I think I'm.
No, I was actually giving you an anecdote where one of these events, and I won't name that person, but very successful startup, and in fact, we were on this panel on exits. So he had obviously done an exit, and when he spoke about the fact that they were co-founders, his wife and him. So he said that, you know, in fact, that's absolutely true, but I always do the front-facing role because my wife doesn't like it. And she's happier, you know, at home. And I'm like, oh, but she's your co-founder. So it's definitely very different.
And you
from the
know,
lens
some of the
man.
better known startups where husband and wife have been, the wife has a very small equity compared to the husband. Yeah.
So I never, like personally, I never felt like my husband or my father is an enabler, or they never, you know,
that was not my point. My point was
Yes,
that in a conversation
Yes.
about work, men never talk or say that, oh, my wife encouraged me, or this is, you rarely hear those
but
stories.
for me, it's like a completely different, you know, kind of like in our case also, like I co-founded this brand with my husband, but that equality, like everything I find over there. So I'm not...
No, so we're not talking about specific, right? We're talking about a broader, So that's my point, that, see...
So men take it for granted, you know, men take their enablers and their ecosystem for granted, that this is my birthright. Women have a sense of gratitude when it comes to anything. Even if they find time for themselves, they feel grateful towards the family for allowing them. Which, of course, that's a social structure we've been brought up in. But I guess that's changing.
No, that of course, that's why I think there's so many women founders on this table, otherwise. But the question was that how much of it is, you know, your own drive, and how much is it that the environment also has to be an enabler? And who are your mentors and role models therefore? I think, you know, Ishita, you brought up a good point. There aren't too many role models. It's a fact. There aren't too many women who have really hit that unicorn or IPO all by herself, or two women co-founders doing it together. We've not seen those role models yet, right? So the question is that what will it take for us to get there?
Capital being discussed, really scarce.
Scarce for women? Or scarce in general?
In general, and yes, to some extent for women as well.
There are only two. So, you know, and each one of them, you know, every fund makes like 10, 12 investments. So what, 24 women get funded in the entire...
Yes, cycle. Yeah. Not year. It's the cycle of the fund.
cycle of the fund.
Yeah,
So
because you'll do only 10 years. Investments.
Yeah, I have taken one funding from one company which gives to women entrepreneurs, and at that time when after COVID business सबका stuck हुआ था कहीं ना कहीं, so we were also in that boat. वहाँ पर हमें बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ी थी, तो as a woman founder they gave me money for the business, and from that we started our second startup. मतलब जितना भी उसका R&D
यार हमें भी नाम बता दो.
सबके लिए बता दो. सारी औरतें को.
So that was a very small amount, but that worked for us क्योंकि उस टाइम पे
नाम नहीं बता रहे हो आप, नाम बता दो.
महिला मनी.
महिला मनी.
Yes.
Mahila money.
Yes. Okay. So they help female founders actually.
Nice,
Yeah, they do.
nice.
They
I
do.
haven't,
This is Sairi Chahals, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, it's Iris.
Yeah. She's been also been trying to work on this for a while. So, as closing remarks, what is it that all of you are hoping to achieve with your startups? And in general, what do you see that you'd like to change or see a change happening? If there's a change, otherwise if everybody's happy, with the status quo, that's also fine. So you want to go first?
Sure. So for my startup, it was quite clear. We wanted to develop something which would take away the mystery from sustainability, because everyone's doing something, but they're doing it inside and nobody wants to share any data. So we wanted to just make it transparent, be it a country, be it a company, an individual as well. You could just go on the platform and figure out the sustainability of pretty much anything. That's the vision with which we started. Now, as we know, somebody like an OpenAI has a $20 billion marketing budget. So we definitely don't have those budgets. So right now we are a B2B, but we're hoping that somebody good enough acquires us so that it can become B2C at some point of time. That's really the large vision for us. And of course, for it, for us, the markets are not just restricted to India. So we are just foraying into the US and Europe and all those sort of things. And I have a lot of help. I am part of the NASSCOM Deep Tech Club as well, so they're taking us. So honestly, I'm doing all this with a lot of institutional support, to be honest. So.
Good to hear that. Satobisha?
So I think what we are doing it, I think I'm pretty much happy with that. And I'm in a sector where the majority of the consumers are the women. So I feel a little bit privileged as a woman founder that I am also representative of a consumer. So that, for my sector at least, it's really working well. No one has ever questioned me about okay, if you know the things or not, because it's like a woman kind of majority consumers, and being a woman, that really helped me. And what the focus is to build this to a global brand, because in India, what I always felt is missing, innovation. People are very much reluctant to try or do something that has not been done before. They are always pushing okay, this is working in the market, in consumer market especially, so you should also do the same thing. But you have to look beyond that. You have to understand your consumer, you have to understand your market. And this, I think, we are doing, and I think we are doing quite well. So I hopefully in the coming years will be turn this into a global brand.
For me, it's always been about the impact I've been able to create. Very happy to share that we're working with almost 40,000 farmers today, and we've been able to enhance their income by 6 to 8% in the last 1 year. We would like to take this up to at least 30%. Also, what I feel...
So this income that you've been able to sort of increase is because of you've taken out the inefficiencies, basically.
We've taken out the inefficiencies of the system. We are providing them genuine quality products, which is, of course, increasing their yield. We are also helping them reduce their logistic costs. So they do not have to take their produce to the mandis. They can come to us and we collect their produce within an hour. Similarly, we send them supplies within 4 hours, so they don't have to go and wait at the stores. So all of these inefficiencies out, it would be around 30% in the coming years. So that's real impact we would be creating for farmers. I also feel that convenience is a birthright of every Indian citizen. So if we can get our stuff in 10 minutes, so does the rural consumer can. So, and that is where we would like to create an impact. Where everything is available to him when he needs it and at the right quality.
That's really interesting, because I was thinking about that too. But because convenience and innovation is at the forefront of what I'm building, and really so that women can do 100 things in a day without worrying about insecurities that they face. So all our products cater to convenience, and the immediate goal is to make sure that women can go about their day and not worry about anything, and that's why everything is multi-use. I think the larger picture is that in about 3-4 years, people think about Alternate when they come across something innovative on Instagram or any social media and see something trendy, innovative, really good quality, and think, oh, wonder if Alternate has brought this to India for the Indian audience. So that's really what I'm trying to build.
Lovely, lovely. I am so glad that I'm on this forum with such incredible women. And being the youngest, there's so much to learn from you guys. So yeah, for Eat Atlas, we prominently want to cater to the Indian people who, again, the consumer market is huge, where 60% of the people consume twice a day and 15% even consume 4 times a day. So the snack market, we want to cater to those people who snack so much, of course, first. Second, who are taking a break from the mundane day and making such an experience for them really interesting. So trying to get the international flavors, make it interesting for the people, so that snack is not just nutritional or just a bite for them, but something more than that, something meaningful for them. And as a woman here, I think it will change the thing we were talking about, when will these barriers be not there. I think when such a forum will not be organized. I have never seen a men forum being organized talking about such things. So I think when we don't have to
because
speak
all
up,
the forums are theirs. Yeah,
so I think that will be the day when we will be evolved as a society.
So because we were in health and fitness industry from last 8 years, so matlab hamara mindset is about making people healthy, educating them about wellness, and हमने मतलब 5 to 6 years काफ़ी struggle किया था as an bootstrapped startup. So we come to know कि हाँ sexual wellness जो market है, that is a very big market, and especially for women, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे sexual health for women को बहुत कम priority दी जाती है. तो वी हैव बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट. हमारा कंसर्न सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि हमें मार्केट में प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करना है और उससे मतलब हमारा सेल हो जाए, कंपनी बिल्ड हो जाए. वी ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू एजुकेट थ्रू आवर कंटेंट, थ्रू पॉडकास्ट एंड एवरीथिंग विच वी कैन डू. सो एट दिस स्टेज वी हैव फाइनली फाउंड कि हमें यहाँ वर्क करना है, बिकॉज देयर इज़ अ स्पेस, देयर इज़ अ नीड. The only thing I think which will support us right now is funds.
Is there anybody who thinks differently? Support me also.
I don't think anyone disagrees. It's a unanimous yes for this.
So I'm going to do a quick question around the table. I want a numeric answer, not don't want a verbose answer. आपकी कंपनी का टर्नओवर आपको कितना बड़ा करना है? एक नंबर बताएं. हाँ, एक whatever 500 करोड़, 1000 करोड़, कितनी बड़ी कंपनी?
100 crores in the upcoming 3 years.
In upcoming 5 years.
I think about 8,000 crores in the next 7 to 8 years.
10,000 crores by 2026.
So 100 CR by coming 2 to 3 years.
100 million, that's our target for the next 2 years.
And how confident does everybody feel about achieving it?
I'm quite confident.
Fully confident. So I want to thank everybody for being here and making this a very, very interesting table. And I think we should do both mixed tables, Ishita, and only women tables also, and maybe only men tables as well, right? I think each of those have their own energies, and it's always interesting to
And probably call it a men's table because they're not used to being called.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but it's really been a great pleasure and great success to all of you, to all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.